If you want someone to want you, like really, really want you, there are some really specific things you can do right now. As a relationship expert, I know that flirting is both an art and a science, and it needs to be done just right.
Another episode with the head shrinker. If you missed the other episode, it's in the box.
First thing you're gonna do, when you see him, you're gonna hug him. You're gonna be like, oh my God, it's so good to see you, wow. Any kind of touch stimulates nerve endings. So this is the perfect way to start touching while keeping it super casual.
I agree with that. It also gives men the chance to see if she has any issues touching you. Let's move on.
If anything at all weird or interesting happens around you while you're chatting, you're gonna shoot him a knowing look. You're gonna look dead in his eye and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening right now.
That is a 50-50 shot for women because it could break a girl's concentration and make her very nervous. This was intended to help women, to be honest. Looking straight into the eyes is something men are much better at. But let's keep going.
If he says anything at all funny, you are going to touch his arm while you laugh. Like, oh my God. Keep him on the exact border of wondering whether you're flirting or whether you're not flirting.
If you already touched him once and touch him again, you're given the green light for him to start touching you, which again benefits men because if she starts to pull back when you touch her, that's a red flag. That means she wants to treat you like a pet. She touches you when she wants, but will try to put rules when you try to touch her in the same manner.
When the conversation is at its peak, like he's hanging on every word, you're gonna leave. It's gonna make him feel disappointed that the conversation ended and super excited to see you again.
That was bad advice for women. Why? Because it lets the guy know that even when things are going good, you're going to dip out. In some cases, he will think you're flaking on him. Think about this real quick. You leave when things are going well. So when they don't go so well, you're gonna stick around. This advice can backfire easily.
Next thing you're gonna do is compliment him, but don't compliment him while you see him. Wait till after. Something like, it was so nice seeing you looking all hot today. This one's like money. Makes him so excited to see you again.
This sounds good, but actions speak louder than words. If you dipped out earlier, and then you text a man later saying how awesome he was, any guy with an average radar is gonna think this doesn't add up. And he will possibly think that you went with someone else later. And since it didn't work out, you're treating him like a plan B. I really question how this young head shrinker equates her degree to lifelong relationship happiness. It really seems like it's all theory based on Disney films. But hey, who am I to judge? Moving on. Okay, this lady's batting 1,000 so far. There's absolutely nothing I disagree with. I even compliment her fashion. It's lovely, attractive, simple, and emotionally inviting. Up to this point, I have to applaud her. I'm going to assume she learned all this through experience. Let's keep watching. I agree up to a certain point, except it's too vague. That is really up to interpretation. And to be honest, the handsy flirty part at a dinner table doesn't really make much sense. I get she is trying to convey the message of being ladylike, but it didn't translate that well. She was doing so well up until this part. I can't agree with that last part at all. First dates shouldn't be at restaurants. Why? Because men should never lead with their wallets or reward women for just showing up at a date. Secondly, and I talk from first-hand experience, a woman who decides to pay her share of dinner scores big points with a man because it shows a man you are truly trying to do your part to make it a good night. Relationships are 50-50, ladies. If you show him you are just going to lay back on him to take care of everything, don't complain later when he starts demanding non-financial obligations from you. I'm just saying, if you're making pay for everything, he's gonna think that you owe him something. I'm not saying it's right, it's just the way it is. Here we go again. This is the typical female mentality where everything is based off her feelings and men should know how to read their minds. Overwhelming demand of all your time. Aren't women the ones who are usually demanding men make them the #1 priority? Seriously, women demand something they consider a disqualifier if men demand it from them. And notice the woman in this video demands he respect her time. But I am confident the same respect to his time is optional to her. Let's move on. Now too many gestures and gifts are a red flag. Again, I ask, what is too many? Being that vague, even one can be considered too many. Even dinner can be a gift. How about this? 0 gifts. Or even better, equality. You give him a gift, and he gives you a gift. And a little hint, ladies, sex is not a gift. You respect a man's boundaries, which include no dinner date or making a man spend money on anything. There is absolutely no issues whatsoever of a woman having her boundaries, but in the same token, men can have them too. The question really is, does a man have to spend any of his money to show genuine interest? The answer is obviously no. Look, a woman like this who gives vague and one-sided messages really isn't the best person to take dating advice from. But what do I know? If you agree or disagree with anything in this audit, let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.